I don't want to scare anybody, but the Democrats are rewriting the Medicare-for-all bill it was John Conyers' bill in the House for years. It's H.R. Bill 676, House Resolution 676, and that was John Conyers' bill for years, and that was the thing they would always try to get people to sign on to. Well, bad news, they kind of got rid of it. Well, here's what happened. There's some common dreams. Says single-payer gold standard, House Resolution 676, rest in peace. So they call it the gold standard of single-payer legislation, and it has been for the past 16 years. It is no longer. So that was the bill you could always check in to see who's co-sponsoring that bill. And you could tell if they were a real progressive or not. And if you were signed on to supporting Medicare-for-all, that was the gold standard bill. The House Democrats have decided that their single-payer Medicare-for-all bill will not carry the H.R. 676 number. They're getting rid of that. Why would they do that?
Well, I'm hoping that they're not still, but there's some red flags going on big time.
According to this article, they already gave it away.
They're do it, yeah.
That they let that number go this week to a bill that reiterates the support of the Congress of the United States for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. So they just that just sounds like a BS bill, like a nothing bill that they gave that up for. Why would they do that? That's really, I don't understand. It doesn't make me feel good that they did that, right?
Me neither. No, I mean, especially since we're going to see here what they're changing. And if they change what they say they're going to change, then I don't know how it's going to be effective at all.
So, according to this article in Common Dreams, now with Democrats in charge of the House, the Medicare-for-all single-payer bill is being rewritten, watered down, and renumbered. Well, it's definitely being rewritten and renumbered. And if it's being watered down, we'll have to wait and see because we haven't seen the bill yet, right?
Right.
Which is another problem, that it's being done in the dark. That's another problem, right?
Usually when that happens, nothing good comes of it. Think about bills that were written in the dark. The Telecommunications Act of 1996.
Right.
The Patriot Act. The list goes on of things they just kind of push through and be like, it's fine. What they tried to do, the net neutrality bill here in California.
Right.
Nothing good ever comes of this kind of mechanisms.
For the past 16 years, H.R. 676 was our gold standard bill defining a national improved Medicare-for-all single-payer healthcare system for the United States, said Margaret Flowers of Health Over Profit for Everyone. It was based on a 2003 Physicians Working Group proposal by Physicians for the National Health Program. So this was based on a 2003 Physicians Working Group proposal by Physicians for a National Health Program.
No, imagine that. Doctors just kind of want to practice their thing instead of dealing with paperwork half the time for-profit middlemen.
I would say more than half the time.
Yeah, more than half the time. About 80% of the time.
Yeah, they all complain about it. Now that the Democrats can no longer ignore that their base is demanding a single-payer health system, which they are, I would say about 9 out of 10 people who call themselves Democrats want a single-payer healthcare system. So, and by the way, when it says Democrats can no longer ignore, they can. They're doing it. They're doing it right now. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer are pretending that their base doesn't want single-payer health care. So that's wishful thinking when they say now that Democrats can no longer. But so it says now that Democrats can no longer ignore that their base is demanding a single-payer health care system, we have lost both H.R. 676 by number and its status as the gold standard. From what we have heard, as we have still not seen the text of the draft as promised, the new health bill being written by Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal of Washington has an unnecessarily long transition period and maintains the for-profit providers in the system. So that's not good. They tried to get Bernie to do that earlier, too, to endorse a bill like this and endorse a system like this that kept the for-profit insurance companies involved. And this is not good. If we had, from what we have heard, I wonder who they've heard this from. because they have not seen the text. So this might not be real. But from what we
best case scenario, yeah, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things. If the for-profit insurance industry is still at the table, it's just not going to work. It's not a purity thing. It's just not going to work that way. It's like, hey, you have a pest problem in your home. Are you going to hire the exterminator that says, hey, we're getting rid of the pest? Or the person that says, we leave some of the pests. They can only chew on the wood between June and July, and they have to meet a couple standards.
Yeah, I mean, rich people will always be able to go. There'll always be an insurance policy that they can go buy to get themselves better care. Right?
There'll be something.
But you don't have to bake that into the thing.
Right. I mean, even England has some stuff like that.
Right.
You can buy certain extra amenities and stuff, but everyone is covered.
So what bothers me is that she's doing this in the dark. The delayed transition, so the transition from for-profit to Medicare-for-all, the delay in that transition means preventable deaths and more preventable deaths and suffering. Keeping the for-profits means higher costs and lower quality of care. Jayapal's bill is being written behind closed doors. So a lot of people want to see this bill, and Congresswoman Jayapal isn't showing it to anybody. I don't know why. That's not good.
That doesn't sound particularly progressive or working for the people.
Not at all, Steph. This is from healthoverprofit.org, and they sent a letter to Congresswoman Jayapal to release the text of House Resolution Bill 676. This was in December of last year. They said, we understand that this is a letter to Congresswoman Jayapal, we understand that you are rewriting House Resolution 676 before you introduce it in 2019. It is important to us that H.R. 676 not be weakened in the process, but made stronger. We ask that you release a draft of the text of the revised H.R. 676 so that longtime single-payer advocates can read it and share our views with you before the bill is introduced. Transparency matters greatly to us, as does getting the policy right. H.R. 676 must be strong from the outset so that as it goes through the legislative process, we can be sure the final bill will solve the healthcare crisis in the United States. Some of your public statements recently have caused concern. This is about Congresswoman Jayapal. In particular, statements about your desire to align the text with the Senate bill, S. 1804, which is inferior to H.R. 676. So Pramila Jayapal has said that she wants to bring the bill, the single-payer bill in the House, closer to the Senate's bill. And according to this article and the people over at healthoverprofit.org, they say that the Senate bill is much worse. Indeed, the Senate bill is so deficient that many in the single-payer movement cannot support it unless it is significantly revised. We want the House bill to remain strong and fully supported by the entire single-payer movement as the gold standard that the Senate must measure up to. So what Pramila Jayapal has signaled is that she wants to water down the House bill to be more in line with the Senate bill. And what they're saying is, no, you make the Senate bill more in line with the House bill 676. But she's doing the exact opposite, according to the people over at Health Over Profit. We urge you to release a draft copy of the new legislation before the end of the year so people can have input before it's made final. We are being asked to mobilize support for the new H.R. 676, but we cannot support a bill we have not seen. So this was back in December, and it was signed by lots of people who are really interested in this. Everybody over at healthoverprofit.org, people like Margaret Flowers, MD, coordinator for Health Over Profit, Kip Sullivan, Healthcare for All Americans, Lee K. Haynes, People's Health Movement. So all these people who are leading movements for single payer, they all signed it, sent it to her. And as far as we can tell, it has not been released. The text of her new bill, her new single payer bill, has not been released. But I know they're going to have hearings too. Pramila Jayapal also announced that they're going to have hearings. So I don't think that they would they release the bill before they. I'm thinking, are they going to have hearings and then write a bill? Wouldn't that make sense?
I mean, yeah. I mean, right now the process is a little murky. I just hope that it is as transparent and it needs to be, and it doesn't go by the Nancy Pelosi school of you have to let us pass it, then we'll let you know.
And then we'll figure out what's in it. Remember that? We'll pass it first, then we find out what's in it. You know, that's the kind of dumb thing I would say out loud. Not somebody who's a master legislator. So anyway, they should pass the strongest Medicare-for-all bill, single-payer bill they can possibly pass.
Absolutely.
Why should they do that, Jimmy? It won't pass in the Senate. Exactly. Nothing's going to pass in the Senate as long as it's Republican. And so you shame them. That's how you win. That's how you win in politics in the 2020. You can run on this. This is what we're running on. The Democrats passed this. The Republicans are against it. Medicare for all, overwhelmingly popular in the country. 70% of the country wants it. Even the majority of Republicans want a single payer system. So you pass the best version of it. And then you make the Senate Republicans take the heat for denying the country the health care that they want. But it seems already You know, there was only three progressives who voted against the pay-go rule. That was Ocasio-Cortez, Tulsi Gabbard, and Ro Khanna. And everyone says Pramila Jayapal is very progressive, and she is. But I hope she listens to these people. And I hope she releases the text, and I hope she doesn't water down the bill and make it more like the Senate bill. I hope she tries them to pressure the Senate to make their bill more like the House bill. I hope that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, you had your baby step with the Affordable Care Act / Obamacare / Romney Care. We already did that.
Already did it.
So repeating that is just, it's a waste of people's time.
Yes, completely.
And it's not going to fix our healthcare problem.
Right. You know what? We need to find a way to get 30 million people insured immediately. You know how you do that? Medicare for all.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody left out. Not one person. Everybody over 65 years old gets health care. Not one person left out. Isn't that something? And those are the people who need health care the most. And not one person's left out. We can have that system for everybody. And anybody who tells you that we can't is a bot or a liar or both. We're announcing our live dates for 2019. We're going to Chicago and Portland, Seattle, New York, all over the country. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a link for all our tickets to all our shows. It'll be right underneath there, too. Please become a patron if you like our content and help support the show. You can become a patron for $5 a month, and we give you hours of bonus material. And make sure you're subscribed. They unsubscribe people every day. I'm not kidding. Make sure you're subscribed and click that bell so they give you a notice when we drop a video. It's the only thing we can do to fight back against the bastards. Thanks for your support.